Max Fisher, The Chaos Machine, the inside story of how social media rewired our minds and our world. Step into the intricate world of social media with The Chaos Machine, the inside story of how social media rewired our minds and our world by Max Fisher. This summary unpacks the compelling narrative of how platforms intentionally capture our attention, drawing parallels with addictive mechanisms like those found in slot machines. Fisher explores the profound impact of algorithms on our mental and social landscapes, revealing their role in amplifying divisions and moral outrage. By examining the social limits surpassed by platforms like Facebook and Twitter, the summary elucidates the shift to broader, sometimes hostile digital connections. The book also dives into the dangerous cycle of misinformation and hate speech, which have real-world consequences. Through first-hand interviews with tech industry insiders, Fisher exposes their casual indifference to these effects, paralleling them with executives of harmful industries refusing accountability. Prepare to engage with critical insights about the pervasive influence of social media on identity, society, and truth itself.
Mind hackers. Your brain didn't stand a chance. From the outset, social media platforms were crafted with one intention: to capture as much of your time and attention as they could. Sean Parker, Facebook's inaugural president, admitted that these apps were tailored to provide small doses of dopamine through likes and comments, giving instant gratification. The secret sauce, however, is their use of intermittent variable reinforcement, a tactic that mirrors the allure of slot machines. The unpredictable nature of these rewards, sometimes granting a flood of likes and other times returning nothing, keeps users perpetually engaged, posting and scrolling in pursuit of the next high. This cycle, termed the social validation feedback loop by Parker, sinks its claws deep into our psyche. As users, we tirelessly chase approval, driven by the inherent need for social acceptance and a platform for self-expression. This era of digital identity showcases everything from our affiliations to the lighter side of life, like humorous lists that speak to specific experiences, often playing into our tribal instincts. While seemingly innocuous, these dynamics can heighten divisions and deepen societal rifts, occasionally spilling over into real-world turmoil. What's truly startling is the deliberate crafting of these experiences to exploit our psychological vulnerabilities, a plan laid bare by insights from insiders like Max Fisher, who, through conversations with key figures in tech, unearthed troubling denials and indifference to the harm caused. It's reminiscent of the past negligence in industries like tobacco, where the adverse effects were often dismissed. Here, with social media, users grapple with an engineered addictiveness, often unrecognized but intricately embedded in the platforms designed to keep us hooked. The algorithm's impact. Imagine living in a world where our social connections could seamlessly expand beyond natural limits. Back in 2013, Facebook faced a pressing issue of stagnant user growth and embarked on a bold experiment to tackle it. Inspired by the Dunbar limit, Robin Dunbar's theory that humans can manage only about 150 social relationships due to cognitive constraints, Facebook aimed to increase engagement by showing users content from friends of friends, effectively introducing them to weak ties. This subtle tweak widened users' social circles dramatically, leading to increased interaction. Twitter soon adopted a similar tactic, promoting connections with friends of friends. At first glance, expanding our networks seemed advantageous and undeniably captivating. More friends meant more connection, right? However, this expansion wasn't without consequences. Research on mammals with similar social limits, such as rhesus monkeys and macaques, reveals that pushing beyond these limits can lead to increased aggression and distrust as they struggle with larger group dynamics. Social media users began to experience a comparable shift. As platforms propelled us beyond the Dunbar limit, the digital landscapes became increasingly volatile, fostering hostility and radicalization. René DiResta, a tech investor, delved into the alarming rise of anti-vaccine sentiments on Facebook, uncovering a broader pattern. Social media algorithms, designed to boost engagement, began to thrive on outrage. They pulled users deeper into conspiracy theories, one click at a time. Starting from a benign parenting group, users might find themselves spiraling into communities spreading baseless claims, like the idea that the Zika virus is man-made, leading to even more extreme beliefs. These platforms, primarily driven by profit and engagement, seem indifferent to these consequences. The more users become engrossed in increasingly radical views, the more the platforms thrive, disregarding the social turmoil left in their wake. Viral outrage. Outrage, especially moral outrage, is an ancient instinct now magnified by social media. Millennia ago, when human communities were small, enforcing social norms through public anger was effective. It helped ensure everyone followed the rules and dealt with transgressions swiftly. Fast forward to today, these deep-rooted impulses are awakened on platforms like Facebook and Twitter, where expressing anger publicly is all too easy and can quickly spiral out of control. Take, for example, an incident in 2020 in New York's Central Park. A black birdwatcher recorded a video of a white woman who refused to leash her dog. The situation escalated when she called 911, falsely claiming she was being threatened. With police violence against black individuals a hot-button issue, the video quickly amassed 40 million views, and the subsequent moral outrage was immense. Viewers bombarded her employer with demands for her termination, resulting in her being fired. They even contacted the dog shelter from where she had adopted her pet, compelling her to return the dog temporarily. The rapid, collective punishment seemed stark and excessive, even to the birdwatcher, who warned against tearing her life apart. The episode underscores how our inherited drive to punish perceived injustices gets a dopamine hit from a vast online audience, making us more prone to join uproar and shaming mobs. Social media, despite being a tool to connect, possesses an alarming ability to divide and harm irreparably. The resultant echo chamber perpetuates hate speech and misinformation, unfortunately rife on these platforms, further stoking the flames of outrage. This modern twist on an age-old survival mechanism needs careful navigation to prevent disproportionate and damaging consequences. The social media storm. Social media, once a platform for connecting friends, has shown its dark potential through incidents like anti-vaccine rhetoric during the COVID-19 pandemic, conspiracy theories from figures like Alex Jones, and troubling posts in Myanmar linked to genocide. The real danger lies in how vitriol and misinformation, amplified by algorithms, can spiral out of control. Social media companies seemed initially reluctant to tackle these issues head-on. In June 2020, Facebook employees walked out in protest after the company allowed Donald Trump's incitement of violence against racial injustice protesters to remain unchallenged. However, by August, mounting pressure led Facebook and Twitter to act. A video by Trump falsely claiming children's immunity to COVID was removed, and platforms began implementing measures like fact-checking and account crackdowns, particularly targeting QAnon. Yet, the intervention came too late for many already consumed by conspiracy theories. As 2020 drew to an end, a significant number of users were deeply entrenched in belief systems portraying the government as corrupt and advocating electoral fraud, convinced that Trump was the rightful leader over Biden. Trump's December call to action, urging a wild protest in D.C. on January 6, set the stage for an unprecedented event. The Capitol riot ensued, with thousands attempting to disrupt the certification of the election. This chaos resulted in injuries and loss of life, including Ashley Babbitt, a staunch QAnon follower. January 6 was more than an expression of Trumpism, it was a stark manifestation of the power and peril of social media. Those who breached the Capitol were driven by relentless streams of misinformation found in their digital feeds. Platforms, however, responded by banning Trump, but these bans were hardly a long-term solution. Instead, they highlighted the profound influence and responsibility social media companies have in shaping public discourse and action. The chaos machine dilemma. Imagine a world where the social media platforms that dominate our lives actually take responsibility for their impact. After the turmoil of the Capitol siege, there was an urgent call for change. Politicians, tech insiders, and even social media employees themselves were exhausted by the vast influence these platforms wield without accountability. The suggestion of user subscriptions was floated as a potential solution, offering a more sustainable revenue model than the current dependence on engagement-driven ad profits. However, change seemed a distant dream as giants like Facebook refused responsibility, prioritizing profit over user safety despite being acutely aware of the harm. Facebook's leaders, notably Mark Zuckerberg and Sheryl Sandberg, publicly minimized the risks. But a storm was brewing behind closed doors. In a bold move, Frances Haugen, a former Facebook employee, revealed a trove of internal documents to the Wall Street Journal. These documents painted a grim picture of a company fully aware of its detrimental effects, especially regarding misinformation and rampant hate speech. Yet, aware of the inherent dangers, Facebook's leaders opted against meaningful changes, unwilling to jeopardize ad revenue driven by user engagement metrics. Haugen's whistleblowing underscored a stark reality: while Facebook possesses the capability to enhance user safety by modifying its algorithms, it deliberately avoids doing so. Her proposed solution was radical yet straightforward: turn off the algorithms dictating user engagement. By removing these automated curations, the platform could lessen its grip on what users see and engage with. However, such a transition seems unlikely, given Facebook's prioritization of profit. Experts interviewed in the Chaos Machine suggest we'd benefit from a more stripped-down version of social media, a place less intertwined with addictive engagement patterns. This might mean accepting an internet with less entertainment, fewer vibrant communities, but significantly less hate and misinformation. The trade-off poses a critical question: is a safer world worth a potentially duller digital experience? Max Fisher's conversations continuously evoked parallels to Stanley Kubrick's iconic film, 2001, A Space Odyssey. In the film, HAL, a super-intelligent computer, is intended as a support but becomes a threat that challenges the crew's survival. The only solution is to disable HAL, reclaiming control despite the loss. This analogy serves as a poignant reminder for society: confronting the pervasive influence of social media may be uncomfortable, but reclaiming control over our digital lives could just be the ultimate necessity. In Fisher's exploration, social media addiction is portrayed not as a personal failure but a pervasive design flaw, hinting that perhaps it's time we turn off the machine.
Max Fisher's The Chaos Machine exposes the intentional design behind social media's addictive nature and its societal ripple effects. Key takeaways include the exploitation of psychological vulnerabilities through variable reinforcement, mirroring casino-like addiction tactics. The book sheds light on how platforms disrupt social limits, leading to increased aggression and societal fragmentation. Fisher poignantly illustrates how moral outrage is manipulated for engagement, escalating to widespread public shaming and real-world repercussions. Moreover, the persistent spread of misinformation and hate speech highlights the platform's abandonment of responsibility in favor of profit. Fisher's work encourages reflection on social media's overarching control, reminiscent of the rogue AI in 2001, A Space Odyssey, and the urgent need for change. By considering the whistleblower accounts and calls for reform, readers gain a deeper understanding of the potential paths towards a safer digital environment, all while grappling with the poignant question of whether we can, or should, turn off this powerful machine.